Continuing our theme on frontier markets, we're shifting to Cambodia now, where the country is set to open its stock market later on in December. One fund looking to cash in before the listings is Leopard Cambodia. That's a private equity firm that's investing in companies and then cashing out when they IPO. What are the opportunities? Well, let's talk to Leopard's founder and chief executive officer, Douglas Clayton, joins us on the line. And Douglas, first off, let me just ask you about Cambodia's stock market. Is it on track to open up in December as they're hoping to?
Yes, they're working very hard on that, and there's a big delegation from Australia in town now to help give advice on that. So I think by the end of the year, they're going to try to open the market.
Now, Douglas, you said that you wouldn't mind if it's delayed a year or two just so that Cambodia and the officials get the regulations in order.
If necessary, but I think they're trying to meet the schedule. The important thing is that they launch with the right rules and the right supervision.
Well, are they on track to do that?
I believe so. I think they've got a good team in charge, and they're listening to advice from international experts. And there's a lot of top government commitment in making this exchange work.
Okay, Douglas, let me just ask you about the opportunities in Cambodia. It's a market that seldom, I guess, makes it into the circle of chit-chat among investors. So let me ask you about the companies that people should be looking at. First off, you see on the graphics here, we have Socomex, which is the biggest petroleum company. Also, Ekleda Bank. This is the largest bank in the country. Supposedly among the first to probably list on the exchange. But what other names are you hearing?
Some of these state enterprises are getting ready to list things like the Sihanoukville port and the water supply of Phnom Penh, possibly the electricity company in Cambodia. These may be early candidates for listings, but also some smaller ventures, because I think the listing requirements will be more relaxed than in many countries.
Okay, so let me just ask you, which companies are you investing in before, before the listings happen?
We're finding the best opportunities are in early-stage companies, companies that either you start up or you invest at an early stage and put them on track for a listing from the very beginning. So some things that we're doing is a rice plantation. We're leasing 4,000 hectares of land to grow rice on. It's a very basic industry there. We've also invested in an electrical power grid in a rural area that will connect 7,000 people to give them grid power for the first time. We're starting up a small microbrewery to participate in the beer industry, which we think has very good growth prospects. And we've invested in a property development as well. So we're seeing a lot of ventures and early-stage opportunities here.
Yeah, talk about early-stage opportunities. What are the expected gains and returns?
Well, here we have an economy that's just waking up from a 30-year sleep. So it really needs to build things that are missing but have been prospering in other Southeast Asian countries. So in many cases, there'll be no competition at this stage when you make an investment. You don't have to worry about breaking into the market as much as just getting the company operating. So it's an unusual opportunity, very different from anywhere else in Southeast Asia that I've invested.
Yeah, but Cambodia is still the second poorest country in Southeast Asia. It's pretty hard to judge which companies are the good quality ones. How do you check in and look at the balance sheets and which ones are believable in terms of numbers?
Well, again, if we invest at an early enough stage, we put in the accounting systems and the financial controllers in place from the beginning, so the company right away has an international management capability. If we're going to invest in existing companies, then it does take more work because many of these companies do not have proper audited accounts, and some of them are not tax compliant either. So it can be challenging. But there are good companies like Ekleda Bank, which you mentioned earlier, that have set the standard of trying to be at international level from the beginning.
Okay, Douglas, nice talking to you today. Douglas Clayton of Leopard Cambodia. He's the founder of this fund.